The only product that I know you can afford without having any shilling is real estate. Kenya, we are 53 million.
53 million people, and we only have what, 26?
30,000
30,000
mortgages.
Wow. One of the complaints that I personally have seen is the breach of trust that is affected by failed projects.
We've experienced the best side of completing projects on time and building a credible name. Mm-hmm. We've also experienced finishing project ahead of time, and delighting customers.
Not just on time, but ahead of time. Wow.
We've also experienced not finishing projects on time and having significant delays. Mm-hmm. For home ownership now, you need just to have 10% deposit. Mm-hmm. Example, if the house is 2 million shillings, you just need a 10% deposit, which is 200,000, and then the rest you pay during the construction duration. Mm. What that has done, it's simplified and made it quite affordable on how you own a home. First, you have a dream, I want to be either a landlord or I want to have a home. Then how do I finance it, or where do I buy? You say, I want to buy from a credible developer, and you go and check the house, and then we give you flexible payment terms, and when we finish our construction, we hand you over to a bank or to a circle, and then that way you're able to earn. Now, the only product that I know you can afford without having any shilling is real estate, because you can get financing for any product that is below 10.5 million, can be financed 100% by banks, and through that KMLC loan product, mm-hmm. where the interest rate is 9.5%, whereas in the normal commercial mortgage, I think is at 16%. So where I'm headed with this is you can actually walk around the entire Nairobi, looking at houses, neighborhoods, and you select the one you want.
And you pick the one that you want.
Yeah.
So long as you can afford the monthly installment.
Yes.
Okay, you've talked about the KMLC, but for the sake of our viewers, you can explain who KMLC is in full, and what that's really the low-cost housing program, how it works. Because I have found it very, very attractive, especially for those who are not earning or are not on the very high income earning bracket. So you can explain a little bit how it works.
So KMLC is a government entity.
Kenya Mortgage Refinancing Company.
Yes. Yeah. Kenya Mortgage Refinance Company. It's a government entity, mm-hmm. that was, I think, put up to support the demand side of housing, by providing capital for that would allow banks to provide cheaper mortgages. So they have advanced money. I think they disburse their mortgages through various banks, and the beauty about it, the mortgage is a single digit interest rate. Mm-hmm. So the mortgage rate is 9.5%. Wow. And they finance up to 10.5 million shillings.
The cost of the house.
The cost of the house
will be 10.5 million, yes.
Maximum.
But that's a high threshold. If you look at the majority, maybe they are within that income bracket, right?
Yes, the majority would be in that income bracket. It needs to be your first home. And I think that then pushes our mortgage rates up.
Yes.
And allows people to own homes. And it's not as expensive. The difference between the rental and the interest rate is not too high. So maybe your rental income would be 40,000 and your mortgage repayment would be 50.
So you are just substituting the rent you pay to your landlord.
Yeah.
Now you become the owner and occupy the same house.
Yes.
And you pay the bank or the financier.
Yes.
The monthly installment.
Yes.
So it's great. And is it true also that the rates are fixed for the duration of the loan?
Yes, the rates are fixed for 20 years.
So they will never be subjected to the volatility that we see sometimes happening in the market.
Yes.
Yeah, when the interest rates misbehave.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the rate is fixed. You can take a view on it. And the beauty with the real estate is over that period of time, 20 years, anyway, you'll have paid down your own.
Yeah.
Your value of property may have gone
going
up.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah.
The case study that has been done, it's worked very well. I think you're in the banking sector. For an extended period of time, there were 27,000 mortgages in the country.
Yes.
And those were largely people who work for banks
The higher income earners. Yes.
So in 2024, the bank supervision report, we've seen a jump in those mortgages. 2,400 additional mortgages were disbursed. And now the country is at 30,015 mortgages. A 20 billion jump even in the value of mortgages disbursed.
Yeah.
So it's working and people are
taking advantage of
So this year, maybe those mortgages will go to 35,000.
Yes.
And for context purposes, a country like South Africa, the population is 63 million people. The number of outstanding mortgages is 1.6 million. Kenya.
And we are at 30.
Kenya, we are 53 million.
53 million people. And we only have what? 26?
30,000.
30,000.
Mortgages.
Wow.
So that as a factor of the GDP is 0.135%.
Yeah.
While in South Africa, it's 15%.
Yeah, but you see, for me, I choose to see the opportunity.
Yeah,
because it means that that's the untapped market.
Yes.
It's a great opportunity also for, both for the investors and also for developers like yourselves, and for the financiers also, who would like to do business in that space. So it's a positive thing, and it's also good that it's happening now.
Yeah.
So let's see how the numbers go.
So I think eventually, we'll
hopefully see movement in the right direction.
Correct.
In terms of numbers and affordability and also, availability.
Yes.
Because I guess it will also spur the developers to develop more.
Yes.
Yeah, because now it's easier for the customers to get financing.
Yes.
From the mortgage refinancing company through the financiers.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's amazing. For me, it's a great development. Now, when we are still on provision of affordable and other kind of housing, one of the complaints that I personally have seen is the breach of trust that is affected by failed projects in that segment, in that sector. So would you like to say something about that and what Centamri is doing to rebuild the trust of the purchasers and the customers and the consumers in this sector? Because a lot of them have been hit badly in various projects.
So we've experienced, just like every other developer in the country, we've experienced the best side of completing projects on time and building a credible name. We've also experienced finishing project ahead of time.
On time.
And delighting customers.
Not just on time, but ahead of time. Wow.
We've also experienced not finishing projects on time and having significant delays. Real estate is quite fast, capital intensive. It's quite expensive to build. Two, it's prone to, it's a supply chain business. You have control of very small components. Today, if anything happens across the shipping lines, the cost of building materials
and the materials are on the way.
They go up by 100%, by 200%.
Yes.
If interest rates change tomorrow, your financing costs go up. If steel things happen where the mining is happening, the price of steel would double. There are many things that but you chose to be in that business, so you can't.
You have to handle it.
You have to deliver
one way or another.
You're also working with a pool of experts, contractors, and the rest, and they also experience certain shocks. Also, the interest rates could go beyond, because now you're in affordable space.
Yes.
your margin is 10-15%. If interest rates are in 20-25%, it means you build, you finish, you hand over, and you look for money to pay everyone because
It's
it
at a
cannot be
loss.
enough.
So
It's
you've
at a
actually
loss.
made a loss.
Yeah, so some of our projects have had delays. Cascadia, the one you can see across. So for a period of time, construction sort of stalled for many stories. But now it's resolved. Construction has moved on. It's been funded again, and we are carrying on. There are projects like Riverbank and Roft that were finished ahead of time. Customers have made nearly 20 million in cash realizable. The value moved from 35 to 55 million. Riverbank, the value has moved from 15 to 21 million. So what we've learned is real estate is you have to work every day to mitigate risk.
Yes.
So first, a financing risk. Two, is there a market risk? And then a supply chain risk. Then a government risk. If there are delays at the land registry, you finished a project, the bank will only disburse a mortgage when security is perfected.
Yes.
If it's not perfected, you don't have the house, the money sits with the bank, and all of you are in distress.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
There is nothing you can do. Then the customer financing element. But in business, I think there are cycles of ups and downs. What you can't do is remain down. And if customers see that you're doing your best to resolve the issues, then they feel comfortable. And even as these delays happen, the value of the houses go up. And that's what the experience we've had. But we want to strive to be at the top and not come down.
There's another issue that buyers deal with.
Yes.
I mean, you have bought this house, whether it's a commercial one or mostly residential.
Yes.
And the moment the money is fully paid, you take occupation.
Yeah.
And that's when the reality hits that there's no water.
Yeah.
Power is an issue.
Yes.
Even the sewer is an issue. And this is based on real life complaints,
yes,
from buyers. How do you as Centum deal with that in your projects?
So that's a problem that happens across. If you are to build your own home and you try and test everything, even when you finish, the shower is not working, the sink are not working, and these are brand new things. They sort of not work. But what we've done, because we're doing large-scale mixed-use developments, it means we are in these developments for such a long time.
Yeah.
So we are finishing this building and starting the next. And the same customers are with us in this ecosystem. They will, of course, come back and say that this doesn't work, that doesn't work. But what we've done in our projects, we've put in the basic infrastructure first. Water, power, sewer, that is in place before we start. During construction and 6 months before completion, we bring our property management team. So they start testing the solar water heating system, if it's working. They start testing if there is power. They start testing if the drainage system works nicely. And then we have the defect liability period with the contractor, where they can fix all these issues. And then we have a customer service element that if you're in the house and anything fails, we strive to make sure that it's fixed. And these are real life examples that we experience. We also additionally experience that power, cost of water goes up and people are not happy around it. So we also try and do energy efficient installations so that your cost of power, water is not as high. In fact, you should be achieving some saving.
Should I buy a ready house or should I build one? Should I rent a house or should I buy one?
Where are you from maybe an economic perspective? What can you afford? Yeah, what you're doing, other people are doing. You will fail, but you have to take calculated risk, and the business will grow. The first point is to start.